Mark came into my house, took over the living room. We've got amps in 2 of the bedrooms. We've got the upright piano mic'd. We have a whole console and recording rig in here in the living room just set up. We have mics all around. We had drums where the dining room was, and it was pretty fantastic. My house, I never knew could sound so good. Today marked 8 days of recording and mixing. We did 11 tracks in 8 days. Everything, all overdubs, vocals, and we would track live, which was awesome. We were moving fast, and a guy like Mark Howard's very busy, so I wanted to knock this out as fast as he can before, you know, Bono called him up or whatever.
So this is my portable system I've been traveling around the world with making records. Kind of a combination of a couple of cool things where I use a Canadian machine called the Radar. It's kind of like a 24-track recorder, but it's digital, but it's the closest thing to analog. And it's got a pretty big warm print. What it does is it confines you to 24 tracks, just like in the old days with 24-track tape recorders. So you make your decisions early on, so that way you're not left with 100 tracks like people are doing in Pro Tools these days. They're lightweight, and my whole rig kind of goes into kind of 2 road cases, and I fly around the world and I find interesting locations to make records, and I've been doing this my whole life this way. Kind of started in New Orleans, worked on a record with Bob Dylan called Oh Mercy, and I rented a Victorian mansion in the Garden District uptown. A couple other records with REM, Monsters, and Automatic for People, and then moved on to Mexico, where I rented this house that was built in the mountains, and all the walls were all natural rock. So I worked there with Daniel Lanois, and then I moved to Oxnard, California, where I had a setup there called the Teatro, an old 1940s porn cinema, and that's where I did Willie Nelson's Teatro record. Bob Dylan's Time Out of Mind record was finished there. A little bit of the Red Hot Chili Peppers and a couple of soundtracks for Billy Bob Thornton's movie Sling Blade. Kind of a gypsy lifestyle where I kind of move around, and I end up getting kind of crazier sounds this way because I don't fall into the same old pattern of putting the drums always in the same spot, and you always get different sounds from every room you're in, so every record's got a unique sound.
Matt and I got together to write, and he wrote a lot of the music, like that beautiful B section. I didn't tell him at the time what I was writing about, because it's a weird thing to talk to people about. So yeah, he's got a totally different interpretation of the song, but it's great. He gets to own that too. You know, that's just what it means to me. Somebody else should have their own interpretation of every song. So Come Home for December, Matt and I wrote in an evening. I think it was 2 or 3 hours just sitting down at his house and fleshing it out, but it came very easily. I think I had this story probably going through my head for a couple weeks. It's funny, he never asked me what was We'll Put Your Reggae on. Come Home for December is my childhood story growing up. I had 2 older sisters, and one was older, and my middle sister and I both struggle with addiction. Yeah, so you know, we grew up listening to reggae and just being kind of naughty, rock and roll, and being rebels and kind of outcasts in our little town, our nice little town. And so I'd gotten sober, and once I had like gotten better, I'm like, hey, come on, it's not so bad, you know, like you really got to trust me, but you can't talk anyone into getting clean or sober. So that song was, I wrote it for my sister, and I was really hoping she would just come home.
home for December. We can sing our songs. Nobody told you what was right from wrong. You left home early, and I wished I'd tag along. We've grown divided, how time is strange. I wonder where you were. If I had known the heartache was left alone, I'd taken the time to call. Come home for December. We can put your reggae on. Come home for December. We can sing our songs. Come home for December. We can put your reggae on. Come home for December. We can sing our songs. We can sing our songs. We can sing a song.
Zach, my name's Elton John. I was named after Rye Cooter.
How long is kingdom?
We're rolling again.
Come in, Doug. What's that? You got a hot one. All right.
Breaker 19.
Breaker, breaker.
What's your 20?
I hear that